I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
Hey, what's going, everyone? This is BioPhoenix here. Is that the line you guys want me to say?
He said the thing.
He said the thing.
Put up your score. 10 out of 10. We're not worthy.
It's like
Be
that
honest.
whole Bart Simpson thing.
Be honest, Chris. Do you like our impression of you, or do you hate it? Do you go like, "Oh, those guys are
No,
annoying"?
it's funny. I like it. It's funny. You know what's something I do have to bring up like briefly about that is that my stepbrother, when I was visiting him recently, he always like told me that he thinks that when I talk, he thinks that I sound like that one YouTuber named like Penguins or Critical. Do you guys know him?
Yeah, he looks like you.
Yeah, like a lot. Like he actually thinks I sound like him. Like if I just do it real quick, and be like, "Yo, everyone, this is Critical here."
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, like I don't know.
But you don't look like him. He looks like you.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Did Penguin Zero actually rip off of BioPhoenix?
Today, we should add a swooshy mark and a circle in the thumbnail, please.
Swishy mark. What is a swishy mark?
Whatever you want it to be, man. I've been up since 4 o'clock, so I have the rights.
Kirby Streamland 3 squishy. Got
Swishy
it.
mark. Squishy. No, that's from Avalanche. Squishy.
We'll just add it to the Button Mappers lore that there's something called a swishy mark, and Terry can figure out what that is.
It's what all the thumbnails have, swishy marks.
There you go.
Speaking of terrible things, welcome to the episode about terrible things.
The worst.
We frequently have Bio on to talk about.
That's right.
Cool things.
When we think about the worst games, we think about BioPhoenix. And that's what we have you on
Is that
today.
a compliment?
I don't know.
Well, it shows that you have a range. You know, not a lot of people are willing to tackle, the shit, and the fact that you are shows your.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many people do you know could have covered freaking Saku Saku Daiboto on the PC-98? Huh? How
one,
many?
And it's you.
Yeah, yeah. Because no one has the balls to talk about that stupid shit.
Exactly. So yes, compliment. Well, just acknowledgement. We'll call it that.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. No, I actually do. I actually do think it's fun to take a look at this type of stuff because I do like to try to be a positive guy. Sometimes it's just fun to just talk shit about random things that just weren't done well.
For sure. Well, in order to acknowledge the positive, you have to acknowledge the suck. And
Yeah.
that's, what we're here to do today.
So suck your way on over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can suck those back and forth if you want to.
It won't take long.
Ew.
Yeah.
Don't forget to give a little attention to the Discord.
18 plus.
I don't know. Yeah. Where insert joke here happens.
And while you're acknowledging the suck over on Discord, why don't you acknowledge us on YouTube by clicking the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't already, ring the bell so you can acknowledge all the suckage that goes on here, and leave us a comment about the game that we didn't talk about that was the worst thing ever.
I'm thinking like the Offspring, like, I've got the worst game over ever. I tried not to
Offspring
play
song?
it again.
Is this a newer Offspring
The
song?
worst game over
I only know,
ever.
like, the old
Gonna
Offspring
tell
songs.
my- Yeah, it's on the same album as Hit That. It's Worst Hangover Ever.
Oh, I don't know
Oh.
that one. I don't think I
Hit That, I think, is new Offspring.
No,
Yeah.
that's not a new Offspring.
No, hit was like mid Offspring.
Old Offspring, I only know like old, like, I end kind of Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the end of.
That's the same.
I mean, that's
era.
probably even not necessarily even old
I think it's the
Offspring.
same album. I don't know.
As Hit That? No, Hit That was later.
A different album? Okay.
Well, regardless, I know you want to hit that.
This was very good. You set me up.
You've been set up, Spencer. You put your hands up. You guys set me up. It's a bus.
Bad games.
You
Worst
talking
games.
Cops the whole time.
We read our history. We read about 4 unique shitters. and we're here to unravel the history to you. Suckers, we'll call them suckers. Who would like to acknowledge the suck first?
Wants to suck first.
I'll go first.
Yay!
All right, so you guys ready for this?
Y'all ready for this?
You set that up, Chris. Come on.
Good setup.
No, I'm cool with that. All right. Okay, so this is a game that, believe it or not, I actually did play recently on a stream, and one of my my viewers was telling me that if you beat this first level, I will give you $20. And unfortunately, I was not able to do that because that's how fucking awful this game was.
Wow.
Yeah, but man, though, like he was right though. It was definitely a big shitter for sure.
Big shitter.
So,
took up the
okay.
whole toilet.
Yeah, so this game
Back to
is
the
so this game is on PS1, of course, because I always seem to talk about like the endless amount of PS1 games that just not many people speak up on. But it came out only in Europe in 1999, and it is called Virus It Is Aware. Yes, that's the name of the game. Yes, it probably is. If 2020 was a video game, this would be it. So, okay. This game was developed and published by Cryo Interactive. For anyone that doesn't know, they were a European game company that were known for making a lot of shitty games in the 90s. Like, they were basically kind of like the continuation of the LJN, so to speak, but, for Europe. Because they put out a lot of, like, really, like, shit games that I've seen, like, a lot of, like, shitty adventure games where they were, like, really cryptic, and then they've also made, like, some games that just were, like, had cool ideas, but were just so poorly designed, and this is one of them. And, yeah, so it's a like action survival horror game, third person shooter where you play as like a female character who's like a cop apparently. And by the way, this game is actually like sort of related to a movie just called Virus from the same year, and that movie was based after a comic book from Dark Horse Comics. So, take that for what you will. So it's kind of loosely connected to that apparently. And yeah, so like I said, you just play as this chick, and there's just a bunch of aliens and shit everywhere, and you just gotta kill them. And it sounds fine, but the thing about this game that's like really ass though is that like I find the level design is just really really shit. Like literally in like the next room right after where you start, there's literally like a laser beam that will like pretty much insta kill you, and it's like really hard to avoid if it's like your first time playing through it. Of course, after dying like a bunch of times, you can actually like avoid it, but it's still like very trial and error and all that. And then like not only like that whole like part like just like first starting out just like really sucks, but there's also like a lot of parts of the game too that are just really hard to figure out. Like I remember like the part that I got stuck at that I just could not beat at all, and even my friend like on the stream who like the one who offered me like $20 to beat the first level, this is the part that he told me that he only got through it because he used a Game Shark cheat. Which really tells you like how fucking hard this shit is, like if you try to do it legitly. So there's like there's like a room where there's two zombie guys chasing after you, and they just keep following you no matter what. And in the middle of the room, there's like this like one zombie guy who's in like this like weird Jack in the Box looking thing. Okay, well it's not really a Jack in the Box, but he looks like he's on like a spring, and he's like in like the middle of the room, and he's just like. As again, like with that other room with the giant laser thing, he has that too, and he's like constantly shooting it at you. And because the controls in this game, like they don't have like, there's no like R1 and L1 don't do shit in this game. Or I feel like in a lot of third-person shooting games or third-person games in general, like that should be like your side steps. Well, this game doesn't have that, so trying to like do all like shoot like the two fucking zombies that are chasing after you, and the Jack in the Box that's constantly shooting a laser at you that can like drain your health in like 2 seconds. Trying to do all that without fucking a sidestep is just painful. And yes, there's tank controls too, and that's like yeah. It's just so bad. Like I've tried like at least for like 30 minutes or maybe like 20 minutes or some shit. I don't even know. Like lost count, but it felt like a long time. I was stuck in that fucking room and I couldn't do it, and I was just like, well, looks I'm not getting that $20. And yeah, that's that I can say about the game. It's just so like awful and just so crap. Really ugly looking. The music is forgettable. The story is, as again, kind of forgettable. One thing that is weird, I didn't talk about the story, is that sometimes if you like if you do certain things in the game, like you can actually bypass a cutscene, which is weird. Like, I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, not like I really care, but it's just kind of weird. I remember like one time I got to that when I got past that room with the first laser thing, there was a cutscene where a guy like comes up right behind you. He's like, "Yo," like whatever, like he says, and like sometimes I would do that part, and it would like I could totally just skip it over. So it was kind of weird, you know. So yeah, so. Yeah, like, I could not get far into this game. That's how fucking bad it was. Like, you know, just like with Eternal Quest, it's a game that, like, you can literally turn on the game, and you can literally die as soon as you start playing it, and then you just get fucked. So, I did some little background stuff on this game, and apparently, in, like, just before the game came out, there was a reviewer on a website called jukesvideo.com, and I mean jukes is in like a French word, like Jeux. Yeah, like I can't pronounce
there all
French
the time.
words.
My
Yeah,
hangout spot. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. So on that website, they reviewed a beta version of the game, and they were like, you know, like very like not happy with it. They said like it just sucks, but they also said that it had potential to be good. Well, not long after that, the game came out, and well, as you know, like not much has really changed from the beta. So yeah, and I also pulled up a official UK PlayStation magazine, and they gave the game one of Angry Joe's favorite rating reviews, a 4 out of 10. So yeah, it got a 4 out of 10. Honestly, I think it deserves like a 2 or a 1. Maybe a 2, because I don't know. If there's one good thing I will say about this game, is that, like when you actually have to reload in the game, the game, like, reloads automatically, which I do think is good, because I feel like there's a lot of, like, games around this time where, like, you have to reload in a painstakingly manner. Well, this game, they actually did that right, so I'll give them credit on that. That's, like, not entirely garbage, but it's still a fucking garbage game that I would not recommend to anyone. But still, yeah. There we go. That's all I think I can really say. Like I said, it's a pretty obscure game that not many people talk about for a good reason, but that's all I can say. That, yeah, it's just a shit game that just came out in Europe only from Cryo.
A 4 out of 10 in a PlayStation magazine is basically a 1 out of 10.
Yes.
Because those magazines were like told to sell video games.
Oh yeah, just like Nintendo Power.
Yeah. So that is essentially the lowest it can get. So I think that counts.
Yeah.
Was
So,
the virus
anyone wanna play
aware?
it?
No, I do not. Well, that's my thing. Is like, do you think that like, if they had done touch-ups to it, this could have been a good or serviceable game?
I think it could have been an okay game if, like, they made the levels not so fucking irritating and annoying. And also, like I said, it needs a like R1 and R2, not R2, R1 and L1. Like, they really needed to use that for a sidestep. That would have improved the game a lot more, I think. And like I said, the shooting in it felt pretty decent for what it was. So I thought that was okay, but. Yeah, it's really just the level design, I think, is really what needed to be adjusted. And also that enemy, like, is like a fucking bulge sponge, like the one in the center that looks like a Jack-in-the-Box. Like, I literally shot at him, like, so many times in the same room, and, like, I just cannot fucking do it. Like, I just couldn't. Like I said, like, it's a game that you need to have cheats for.
I gotta say, I'm looking at the pictures of this game, and graphically, I'm not seeing it in motion, so I'm gonna put that out as full disclosure. This image I'm just looking at is not good, but graphically, like, the environment doesn't look too bad. Now, I will say that the character models, upon further inspection, I'm looking at some now, and they look like mannequins. They look really bad, but the environments actually look kind of decent.
I'll say this: it's fitting for the setting, but it's just not like exciting looking. Like I just think it's one of those like try hard, realistic looking games on PS1 where it's
Mhm.
like like Resident Evil or Tomb Raider. Very like it tried to be realistic, but of course like years later it just doesn't look like as appealing or as like interesting to look at versus like games that are bright and colorful and full of like personality or whatever.
Yeah, but like what Resident Evil did that was smart, and a lot of PS1 games did, not Tomb Raider. That game is just you can't even
Yeah,
look at
I
that
agree
game
with
now.
that.
But what Resident Evil did and other PS1 games did was they would use pre-rendered backgrounds to
Yes.
overcome the lack of graphical power. Whereas a lot of games kind of like this one, it looks like just tried to make it in-game engine,
Yep.
and yeah, doesn't age
Yeah,
well.
actually, that probably wasn't a good comparison with Resident Evil, because I would say like the character models look somewhat realistic, but the backgrounds definitely are what keeps it like looking cool. Because I do love those pre-rendered backgrounds in that game.
Me too. Oh, I'm a sucker.
Yeah, yeah, same.
You're a sucker.
It's
You're a
the
sucker for
worst.
a sucker.
Eddie wants a sucker. Give him a sucker. To our new segment, Teddy gets a sucker.
What, a sucker for me?
Wow.
So you couldn't. You're saying you did not get super far in this. It sounds like you didn't even
No, no, I streamed it last week actually. Well, last week
Oh.
as we're recording this, because when this video is out, like this would be like old
The
news,
future.
but yeah, the future. Yeah, so yeah, no, I streamed it last week, and yeah, I tried playing it for like a decent amount of time, and I could not get far into it. Like it was that like broken of a game, and like I've played a couple cryo games before, not that many of them, but I tried them out a little bit, and I can definitely say they're pretty jank.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is this the worst cryo game you've played?
I'd probably say yes, but then again, I haven't played that many. Like, I think I did try out a little bit of this weird other one called, like, Guardians of Darkness, which is also, like, sort of like
Yeah,
this game,
fucking
but not
awesome
really.
names. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, Guardians of Darkness, weirdly enough, how I found out about it was because it has the same name of an anime that I reviewed. That was how I discovered it, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? There's a game? But of course, that has nothing to do with it, but still, it's kind of amusing there. But I know there's another one that I know my friend on YouTube, Vidya Blue Gaming. I know he did a video on one of them recently called 360, but it's not on the 360. So like, what the fuck? It's a PS1 game that's literally called 360, where it's basically like a boat shooting game. It's like so kind of like a Wipeout, but if it was with boats, which is kind of cool looking. But it's like really awful though, because literally in that game, if you die, you like your boat will literally spawn like in reversed. I'm not joking. Like if you die and your car like respawns, like you'll be facing the wrong way.
Oh god.
So that kind of tells you how bad like Cryo like kind of is like with a lot of their shit and their different genres that they've done.
Are you
Says
okay?
here.
Huh?
Okay. Are you getting blasted?
Yeah, this sucks. I'm
Sounds
hoping to
blasting.
get my desk set up soon, okay? In the meantime, you'll have to enjoy figure skating in the sun. I'm enjoying one of the two.
Says here that Cryo essentially was put on liquidation in October 2002.
It lasted that long.
Not long after they released Frank Herbert's Dune. They tried to make a bunch of movies, including a Hellboy game that would eventually be taken over by another company with people that worked from Cryo, called Dream. What is it? Dreamcatcher.
PS1 game?
Wait, Dreamcatcher. Is that related to the
Dreamcatcher Division, the adventure company.
Oh, okay, no, okay. I was thinking of like it could have been related to a Stephen King book called Dreamcatcher, which would have been amusing.
Yeah. And they released Hellboy Asylum Seeker in 2004, which was which was Hellboy, the Hellboy that Cryo was trying to develop way back in like PS1 era. It seems.
Yeah, I've heard that that Hellboy game was pretty bad from what I remember hearing about it, but I've never tried it though.
It was originally a Cryo
Both Hellboy
project.
games are bad.
Trivia.
I mean, I love the movies, but
Trivia time. What would Spencer's evil twin brother be named? His hip hop name. 3.
Wait, hold on, wait. His evil twin brother's hip hop name?
Yes.
I don't know, Teddy. You got me.
The first word's Pico.
Eco Interactive.
No.
Pico de Cryo?
Pico de Cryo.
Because I do have an actual twin brother who's
I know, but he's
Is he evil though?
he's not evil.
Does he make
he doesn't
hip-hop?
meet all the criteria. He likes hip hop, but he doesn't meet all the criteria. I wouldn't call him evil.
Spencer with a curly mustache and a long goatee.
Yeah,
A
he got a
cryo.
backwards S. Yeah,
It's me. Can you like say your name backwards?
Red caps.
Rusnips,
It's me, Russ.
Rusnips, something like that.
Well, there you go. That was the virus. It was aware.
Like I said, 2020, the video game, released in 1999.
Mine's sort of horror related. If you want to branch off to me,
Sweet.
Okay,
Do it.
pull a branch off your tree, and let's climb down to Alex.
a lot of scary things happening in this generation of gaming that I'm talking about today. The seventh generation of gaming, PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii, was a very terrifying time for a lot of things, including Japanese developers. A lot of them made fucked up decisions, but I'm not talking about Capcom today. I'm not talking about Square Enix. Not even my precious Sega. Today, I'm using this opportunity to shit on the company that I like to shit on the most. We're talking about motherfucking Konami.
Mhm.
You get the
Konami-
nod.
Konami released games within this generation. And one popular trend that was going around was re-releasing games. A lot of times games like the Shadow of the Colossus and Ico and God of War and Jack and Daxter and stuff would get remasters from the PS2 games up onto the PS3 and 360, whatever was around at the time. And Konami did this with the Silent Hill HD collection, developed by Hijinks Studios. This is an example of a shitty game being made out of two brilliant games. The original Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3 that are in this collection are fantastic horror games. And I want to say nothing bad about Team Silent. They were fantastic. The problem is, when porting Silent Hill 1 and 2 over to the current consoles at the time, Konami set themselves up for failure in many, many ways. The first thing was that they handed development of this very important project off to Hijinks Studios, which, to say nothing about Hijinks Studios, I'm sure they were fine people. But let me read off some of their games previous to this. We have on the Wii, we have Karaoke Revolution Glee,
Nice.
Karaoke Revolution Glee 2,
Those are my favorites, but okay.
Karaoke Revolution Glee 3.
Let it sing.
They also did Touch Master 3 on the DS.
Ooh.
Classic.
That was my nickname in high school.
18 plus. In high school.
Piss off
Oh,
some,
boy.
some might piss off some nerds. We have Vandal Hearts Flames of Judgment.
Nerds.
So yeah, not really the studio you want behind a project like this, but who knows? Maybe they can pull it off. Got their fucking revolver out, put in a bullet, and spun it around and said, "Let's play a game today." They gave the developers what they needed to finish the project, which is not the original finish code. Konami didn't have the original finish code for Silent Hill 2 and 3. I guess they threw it in the trash, or it's in the back of a broom closet. Who fucking knows? They gave them unfinished code for games that Team Silent had already finished that they didn't save. So not only did they expect these Wii Karaoke developers to unfinished code of these games and remastered them, and also finished the code. But they also had an issue with one of the voice actors from Silent Hill 2 was demanding residuals for this project, which they didn't want to do at first, so they re-recorded all the fucking dialogue for both games, which was also an issue because the way that the code worked was that they couldn't reanimate the cutscenes, and the subtitles were hard baked into the code. So they had to make the new voices match the movement and dialogue and speed, and they're not good performances. Even Troy Baker helped out with this, but they're not good performances. And they later on, confusingly enough, would make a deal with this guy that wanted the residuals. So in Silent Hill 2 on that collection, you can switch between the new and old voice acting, but not in Silent Hill 3, but 2 was the issue. I don't understand at all. Okay, so not only that, those 3 things, we shot 3 times, or sorry, 2 things, but we shot twice. But a third thing was that this game was pushed back. It had 2 years in development. It was pushed back till I think it was March of 2012 to release alongside Silent Hill Downpour, which I haven't played. I've heard it's lackluster. I don't know anything about that one. And Silent Hill Book of Memories on the PSP, which is a fucking dungeon crawler, what every Silent Hill fan wants. And also the shitty 3D movie that was coming out at the time. It was pushed back. They had like a month of just Silent Hill stuff coming out, and they were all apparently bad. But these ports are terrible because they took these classic games that are some of the best in their genre, and they fucking ruined them. They're buggy as all hell. The whatever, the fog effect is barely even a fog. You can see everything, which means you can see terrible fucking textures that weren't supposed to be seen in the original games. They just mangled it all to pieces. Konami would later on go to release a patch only on the PS3 because they figured that's where people were playing it the most. But the 360 version is the only version you can buy now because it's the only version that's backwards compatible. So if you want to play the fucking worst version of these games possible without any patches, buy this collection on the Xbox One or Series S and X.
Oh boy.
Fuck Konami.
Well, Konami.
I'm sorry to the original developers. They were great, and they just shit all over this project.
Konami is clearly a company that operates on ego, like alone, almost, especially at this point in their career. So it's like, it's amazing to hear that one guy wanted residuals, so they instead of that they hired a completely new cast and redid the whole thing. So they paid like 50 different people to work instead of one, just like to spite him. It sounds like, I don't know. That's insane.
Yeah.
The spite like extends to like fans too, because like isn't the only way to play this the original PlayStation and the emulation?
Oh no, this is Silent Hill 2 and 3. This is the PS2 games.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
but even so, like you can't play that first game anywhere else.
You could get it.
Well,
on
you can get it on
PS3.
PSN.
Okay,
it was that was downloadable. But 2 and 3, this is the only current way to play them if you're looking for like an easy way to do it.
Okay.
Without busting out like a PS2 or Xbox.
But you could so Silent Hill you can get on PS4 or PS3?
PS3, yeah.
Oh.
I have 1, but this collection only contains 2 and 3.
Yeah. So you've warned me about this collection and starting it. So do you see there's like no redeeming value, and do you think like this is a total Frankenstein? Like it's
it's. I mean, I think at its core, because like this, the reviews are strange for this because there's like some 3s out of 10s or some 7s and 8s out of 10s. It's strange because like at their core, they're still fantastic titles. They're still some of the best horror games ever made. Just these are the worst possible ways to play them.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's like it's hard to score this because how do you score that? I mean, I guess you score it based on the port, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yep.
Yeah.
Like bad port, good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I can tell you guys, I actually did play the Silent Hill 2 version in that collection. I didn't buy that game, thank God. I actually had a friend that had it because, he never played the games and, it was on the store shelf and he bought it and, I've tried playing it and I was like, why does this game look so ass? Like, this is so bad looking. And, obviously I didn't, like, play much of that version because it was just so bad sounding. I actually didn't, for the longest time, I didn't realize that the voice acting was, like, totally different. But that was also because at that time I wasn't, like, super huge into looking into voice actor stuff until, like, later on, where now, like, I actually am, like, very familiar with a lot of that type of stuff now. And I will say, like, the new voice actors, they are good voice actors. I just think that, like, project, I think the director just did not do a good job. And also, given what you said about, the fact that they had to, like, kind of, like, shoehorn in, like, a new thing into it, and it was, like, kind of weird and awkward. Yeah, I think it was very hard to try and do that right.
This is a case of like a company wanting to, unquote, like cater to the fans. Like, oh, this is for you. You love these classic games, but it was clearly not. This was clearly just like a scheme for money, and then whenever it did backfire and they had a chance to correct it, like they could have patched it out and been like, oh, it's great now when he fixed it, sorry about that. But no, they were like, people playing it on PS3 mainly, so we'll just release a little bit there that kind of fixes some stuff, bye. And then they just ran off, which is funnier because, like I said, the 360 version is the only version you could buy on digital storefronts now.
So would you rather play this or Karaoke Revolution?
Well, they're Glee Volume 2 or Glee Volume 3. I think that's the question.
Oh, well, what's your answer?
Volume 2. Volume 3. I think they strayed too far.
Yeah,
Source material. Yeah.
They pulled a RoboCop 3 on that one.
it's a little buggy. I don't like the fog effects, but
Yeah, the fog effects. I can't see the Glee cast. I don't know any of the cast, so I can't name them. But
Well, if it's got everybody in the Glee cast, it's pretty gleeful.
If there's a character named Lee and he's being good that day, you can call him Good Lee, aka Glee.
There you go.
in conclusion, I would just like to say, fuck Konami.
There you go. Can we all go out on that? Yo, fuck Konami. Or just me?
Yeah. Fuck them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The hell.
I am mad at Konami just because of Metal Gear Solid. That's strictly why I'm mad at them.
Dude, a company has never taken everything that's been ever been good about their company and just shit out all of it like Konami has.
I almost want to applaud them for having the balls to do it, but I love some of those games, so I get kind of mad too.
All dead.
They're all dead.
Like even when they tried to like remember, like they were like, look, a new Contra. It sucked. Look, Metal Gear Rising. Oh, it's
I mean, Kojima...
Rising, but Metal Gear. What's the zombie one? Metal Gear
Survive.
5. That's what it's called. No, it sucks.
Yeah, the only like newer one, like, game that they put out that looks kind of interesting was that they actually did like a sort of like a remake to this this like one Famicom game that they made back in the day. It was called like Getsufume something. It was like it's like a Metroidvania game, and it has like a super like paper like Japanese look to it. I forget the full title of the remake version because it's a bit long, but it actually did come out over here, and you can get it on Steam, and I think you can get it on most like the typical consoles, I think. But I will say that game did look cool, and it is made by like Konami and like one other outsourced people, but I will say that game did look interesting. But yeah, outside of that though, yeah, they haven't really done anything that made me go like, oh, I need to like play this shit.
I want to comb it over so for some microtransactions or something.
Free Kojima.
Here.
Okay, as we climb down the branches, we get closer to the roots, and part of our roots are Spencer. Spencer, tell us about your tree.
All right,
Sonic, you're dead.
No, it's not. It's my story is a little different. I think
with a sniper rifle.
yeah, there's a little dot on my forehead. Like, I'll be good. I promise. Mine is a little different. Mine has a strong redemption tale to it. it's because of the nature of how it was bad, and what is once bad is now great. So with that being said, my pick for a bad game is Final Fantasy XIV. It was an MMO, and it was originally it was released in September 2010 to near universal negative reception.
Wow.
Let's see. According to, this is according to the Wikipedia. The version was directed by Nobuaki Komoto and produced by Hiromichi Tanaka, who was also serving as the producer of Final Fantasy XI. And they employed the Crystal Tools engine, which had previously been used for Final Fantasy XIII, a game I also really like. Following a bug-laden abbreviated beta test period, the game released to near universal negative reception. So there's a couple different things. I mean, there's many different things about why this game tanked when it first came out. And I've got a couple different sources here. One is from Games Radar. They did an interview with the guy that took over. His name is Yoshida. And that's his last name, is Naoki Yoshida. The first reason that it failed was there was an unhealthy obsession with the graphical quality. So they had for instance, they had a flower pot with 1,000 polygons, which is the same number of resources that went into each playable character. Because the in-game assets were such high quality, the original Final Fantasy XIV had to be broken up into small instance settings, which you don't have in an MMO. Second, they had a surprising lack of MMORPG knowledge because they started with Final Fantasy XI, and in Japan, there isn't really online gaming so much because nobody plays on PCs. Everyone plays on consoles, and more so now, especially at this point, mobile devices. So people didn't design this game as a PC game. They designed it as a console experience, kind of like Final Fantasy XI was originally designed. And so the experience was incredibly cumbersome to anybody playing on PCs, which is basically everybody in America. There is people that play it on PS4/PS5. My friend JD being one of them. I don't know how he does it, but they do play it that way. But it was so bad when it first came out, and it was only launched on PC, I believe, when it first came out. I could be wrong on that, but anyway. Finally, the third reason is Square Enix had adopted a mindset that any problem could be fixed in the future with a patch, which made for an incredibly unstable launch. There were hundreds of daily crashes in addition to its underlying design problems. But they figured that they would just fix it later. I looked up, I was trying to find as much bad stuff about as possible, and Reddit, Reddit was my last bastion, but they had a pretty comprehensive list. I won't go through all of it. But just to give you some ideas about how bad it was, all looting requires 3 dialogues to pick up an item. Selling items is done one by one with confirmation dialogues. So you would try to sell an item, and it would ask you different questions about how you wanted to sell it and if you wanted to, etc. To clear out an inventory at a vendor with 80 items, it will take you 30 minutes to do, which in an MMO is horrifying.
Yeah.
It had a leave quest system. So the vast majority of the XP you'll gain while playing Final Fantasy XIV is gained through leaves. You can only do 8 battle leaves every 48 hours, meaning the rest of the time you're playing, you're either grinding or leveling non-combat professions. So the game actually bottlenecked you into limiting how much you can even level, and it's in 2-day increments. So it's an MMORPG that tells you can't keep leveling, which essentially means it's unplayable. All of them are timed. You will gain 0 XP outside of that limit. So it also had a horrible interface where anything in the game required you to go through menus to solve it. So you can't just click on things. It was apparently just the worst thing ever. I actually, when this came out, I was playing MMORPGs on PC pretty religiously. And I played pretty much anything that came up. I played WoW, which was great. I played a game called Ion Online, which was...
I remember that, yeah.
It was like a game about turning into an angel. It was not good, but it was like a Korean grinding RPG. I mean, I would play literally anything, and somehow the news got to me that this was bad, and I didn't play this. I mean, I played like Lord of the Rings online. I did all of them. So this game apparently even got to my naive brain. So eventually, in 2012, this game they had to send out a public apology to the fans about this game being as bad as it was, and they had under the new creator. Naoki Yoshida, who was the planning chief of Dragon Quest X. So that's another online RPG that Teddy and I hold to a certain extent. They re-released it as a Realm Reborn and literally destroyed the other game with a meteor. Like in game, it actually was destroyed by a meteor, and that's part of the story of it. And it's been on just such a great. Just a great experience ever since. They've gotten better and better, and it's really a WoW competitor. If not, I don't know the numbers, but it's likely competing / beating WoW at this point, which is really good for them. I will be honest, it is not my favorite MMORPG. I actually think WoW is better. Both the newer WoW and the recently released Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I think both those games I prefer, but Final Fantasy XIV is certainly a very strong candidate for best MMORPG. Especially right now. So good on them. And it's a great way to see that they acknowledged how bad the first one was and were able to climb out of the ashes, which would seemingly be impossible. So there you go.
I remember watching the whole debacle with that game when it first came out, through the apology, and then through their rebranding and the in universe reason and stuff. I remember being like, "This is the most crazy shit I have ever seen."
Yeah. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Final Fantasy 14 came out, and well, honestly, just because I'm not like an MMO guy, obviously I didn't play it, but one thing I always thought was weird was that like why did they like put like the online games like into like the mainline series? Like couldn't they just call it like Online 1, Online 2? But you know, maybe it's just me. But anyways, that doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't know. Like I remember seeing it. It didn't look very good. I mean, I think like the newer one, obviously it's a lot better, and I'll even say as someone who did try it out for a month because a friend of mine like gifted me a month thing for it, and I kind of feel bad because I literally only played it for like 2 days and then never did again. But I can at least say it was like definitely better. Of course, obviously, no shit, right? But yeah, like if I was like still like a kid and I was like, you know, back at that day when I used to play like RuneScape, I probably would have gave like the newer version a try, but obviously I'm too old now, so I'm just like, yeah. But you know, it's kind of interesting that they managed to like turn that like around like so quick. Well, not so quick because I think it took like about like what like a year or two.
Yeah. After launch, yeah.
Yeah, so but still, like the fact that they managed to turn that around, though, in some ways, kind of, you know, it's kind of interesting because I know most like games when they flop like that, like they're basically doomed. So
It was smart of them to like, and you know, instead of being like, we're making a new online game, forget 14, to just rebrand it and structure it. You know, I mean, granted, like I played I used to play a little bit of 11 on the 360 when I had that version. I don't know what that version's called anymore, but I had that version. And then I played some of Realm Reborn, but I do kind of wish there was a way to play 14 just as 14, because I feel like now it's gonna be passed down as like it was so bad that like but like you know you can't really like go in and like dissect the game now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's certainly not their Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
I had to throw that in there. You know, it's a classic RPG joke. You know.
Also, Chris, did you ask why Square Enix named something stupid?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, they name something stupid all the time. This is true.
It's called it's a Square Enix game.
Did we see the last Nintendo Direct?
Yeah,
what
I
was-
still don't know what Live a Live is called.
It's called Live Alive. Yeah.
Live Alive, live and live, live.
Living life, live it
Oh.
now.
Live in La Vida Loca.
Yes.
That should be the subtitle.
Live
Yeah.
alive, living a vida.
Live alive, live alive. What? Okay, okay. What is it really, Chris? Is it Live a Live?
It's Live Alive, I
Live
think.
alive.
It's still dumb as shit, I know, but
There's no right way to say that, so anyone could be right.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's also like what was that other stupid one? Like triangle strategy. It's like what is this like a triangle of strategy games? Like what the fuck? Like
that was awesome. I love that one.
And then they're like Harvest Moon or whatever clone or whatever called Various Day Life.
various day life.
I don't even try it anymore.
Like yeah, that just sounds like it was mistranslated.
Look, Bravely Default was cute. Okay, it was cute.
Octopath
It's not
Traveler
cute
can
anymore.
make sense.
Yeah, Octopath was cute. Fine.
I
Yeah,
guess.
now it's getting annoying.
Yeah.
Well, it's got relevant plot details. Like there's 8 paths. You're a traveler on 8 paths. Various day life is your average day-to-day life and the variety of things that come with it. Final Fantasy.
Various
14,
Day Life.
Realm Reborn. I don't know.
Various to me, Various Day Life sounds like the director of the game was in an elevator and it was closing, and somebody ran up to it and said, "What is your new game?" And he's just like, "Various Day Life," and then the elevator closed. Like it's just like that's literally all he had to go off of, and then he just named it that.
Or he thought they were asking like a different question, like, "What are you up to?" "Oh, Various Day Life."
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's like, "Oh, that's your new game, huh?"
Got it.
Figure out my triangle strategy.
Triangle strategy sounds like a game that would belong on like the Atari. Because
Yes.
the shapes.
Yeah. Just where they would just name things as descriptive or like
you
as
get the high
openly as
school
possible.
triangle strategy. Pew, pew. Whoa.
Yeah, and it's literally like a tank
Whoa.
game where they,
Yeah.
where they actually look like triangles.
Oh,
That's
look at
exactly what it sounds
those
like.
Triangle strategy.
Vector graphics like you've never seen before. Yeah.
Video system Atari playing triangle strategy.
Featuring the all-new Triangle Strategy System, never before seen, implemented in
Play
new
it now
unseen
on
ways.
And now on your Atari Video Home Computer Console. Atari.
Well, we've had quite a climb on this tree, but eventually you have to reach the top branch. And I think we've done it. Teddy, what have you got for us?
Hey, you. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Mm.
Finally, the microphone fucking works. It's Hey You Pikachu. A game where the microphone does not work. Hey You
gonna hurt.
Pikachu. Hey You Pikachu is one of 2 games on the Nintendo 64 that used a unit called the VRU. I believe that's short for voice recording unit. And the other was Densha Daigo 64. Densha translates to train. It was a Japan exclusive. It was a train simulator. So in America, the only game that used the peripheral for the microphone was Hey You Pikachu. I owned it. It actually launched alongside YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. This one's gonna hurt because this one's personal.
Yeah. This one launched alongside the Pikachu N64 special unit in 2000 in the States, but it came out in 98 in Japan. So there was I wouldn't say there was hype around it, but it was a new Pokemon game. Up to that point, Pokemon was reaching milestones of success in the video game market. The Pokemon Stadium games, the Pokemon handheld games, the Pokemon trading card games, the Pokemon Game Boy Color games that weren't in the mainline games. So you hear about Hey You Pikachu, it's like, oh, this is gonna be great. I could talk to Pikachu. You could be my friend. And essentially, that's the concept for the game: is that you go through a 365 day system where you have various tasks with Pikachu. Your main character gets a device in-game called the Poke Helper from Professor Oak to talk to Pokemon. You meet a wild Pikachu, you befriend it, you earn its trust, and it comes and lives in your house. There's 3 different types of days: Pikachu's Daring Days, Discovery Days, and Play Days. Each day has a different objective, like food collecting, fishing, getting Pika points, and using them at Abershop. there was another game around this time, Seaman for the Sega Dreamcast, that used the voice recognition unit, and by comparison, I lost the numbers here. I could pull them up in a second, but I believe, and maybe I can get a fact check on this, that Seaman had voice recognition for up to 10,000 words, and Hey You Pikachu 265. So the number of things that you could actually say to the game were like rendered down, because this is like a kid-friendly game, versus Seaman was more of like an intellectual experience. Did it work perfectly in Seaman? I can't say. I never tried it, but I've seen footage and it looks funny. With Hey You Pikachu, it mostly came out as non-functional. I have a couple sources. The game wasn't like hated by everyone. A lot of people seem to like it for those who it worked for. But the average Metascore is 57 from the critics and 6.4 from users. You have the highs as high from users as 10s. They're saying the game is great. You won't get too frustrated at how stupid Pikachu is, and they use the number 2 to write 2 and STOOPID for stupid. Down to as low as a 0, where they say the voice acting is creative, but the game really does just plain suck. Terrible gameplay. I was ready to chuck the TV. From the critics, you have as high as an 84 from Game Fan. If you're looking for more than a distraction for the kids, a learning tool perfectly disguised as a game. I don't agree with that. And as low as a 30 from Hot Games. Hot. Even if you dig Pikachu's act, the game is ultimately spirit-crushing, mind-numbing exercise and tedium. And so this concept didn't go far. Hey You Pikachu did get spiritual successors in the Pokemon Channel game on the GameCube, and I don't know if that's the right name. And then also the Poke Park on the Wii, but they're much different and I believe more functional. People have said that Hey You Pikachu would do well on the 3DS. There's an article from Ugo.com, the top 50 games that belong on 3DS, and Hey You Pikachu is like number 5. Why? Who would want to own a dog or a cat when you could take care of your very own Pikachu? That's a jab at Nintendogs and cats. Using the 3DS built-in microphone should make it simple to speak and interact with the wild Pokemon. It would be great and unique as an addition to the 3DS lineup. Hey You Pikachu's legacy is odd. When I played it, it did not function for me. I didn't know the list of words that you were supposed to say. Maybe it's just because I was a dumb kid. But I never got it to work. And I would be interested to buy the peripherals and try it again. Obviously, this is a weird one if you're doing like emulation. I don't know how that would work. But it exists in the lifespan of the Pokemon lifespan, the Nintendo 64 lifespan, and it's pretty bad. Hey.
If you're 6 years old, just want to say the ads for this commercial, the ads for this game made it sound like the coolest fucking game in the world.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I've seen the commercials, and it's like there was like I forget the commercial exactly. It's just like going off memory from when I was like a kid. But it's like a dog, like a bulldog, like watching a kid, like, hey, jump, Pikachu, catch. And it's like, can you believe this shit? And like, because like he's been replaced and stuff. And then I remember playing it and like never, like whenever I was a kid, I was just like, well, I guess I'm not doing it right, or like I guess I'm just bad at the game. But it never like dawned on me that like the game should function because I'm a kid, And like I don't know how games are made. As far as I know, they just poof into existence,
Yeah, that was my thing too. I was like, am I doing this wrong? Like, I never thought that it would be like the microphone was fucking broken, or just like a piece of shit. It's literally like a little piece of fucking styrofoam on a stick, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even outside of it being a shitty peripheral game where they didn't try, they were just trying to somehow test this, probably, I'm going to guess, was the original intention. And they just knew this would sell. But outside of that, this is the the beginnings of the weird relationship that Nintendo had with Pokemon and on consoles, where like everyone only wants a console Pokemon game.
Oh,
Like-
talk to Pikachu.
It's so bizarre that they literally like were sitting on a mine of money. Like they could like N64 didn't really kick off as well as they wanted. Okay, we have this new GameCube thing that's coming out. What could we sell on this that would make everybody want to buy a GameCube? Well, Pokemon sells literally like 15 million copies. I guess we could try making that, or we could make some weird game that only Terry likes. Like, it's very bizarre that they consistently did not want to release a Pokemon game on consoles that could clearly hold a strong Pokemon game. Like they had Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap, and then this. It's just like I was a little bit older than you at the time. And when this came out, I'm like, why do you keep doing this, Nintendo? Like, why do I want to talk to Pikachu? I want to fucking put him up against a Charizard and see who wins. Like, it's such a simple concept. Why is this so confusing? And they never ever released a console Pokemon until the Switch, which is basically a handheld anyway. Like, it's just like, it's bizarre, their relationship with Pokemon, that they couldn't even do that.
Well, I'll steel man Terry for a minute and say that XD, Gale of Darkness, and Coliseum are legitimate RPGs.
Yes,
They are
I would
like
agree with that.
narrative-based Pokemon games. Are they mainline games? No, that's different. But I played XD, and that's pretty competent. You know, now you're right that Pokemon people have always clamored for like the console Pokemon experience, and now like the joke is like Sword and Shield, like really, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you know, this is definitely like a weird one.
Poke Park 1 and 2 have stories, narrative.
Yeah.
You're on a
Yeah,
He goes to the park.
I'm Farmer
I agree
John.
though. Yeah, like I'm like looking over at Scarlet and Violet. Everyone's like, "Aren't you excited?" I'm like,
No?
yes. I mean, you're right. I mean, that's all anybody wanted, and they gave us this. Like, I remember, like, I fell out of, which we'll talk about in Pokemon, but I fell out of Pokemon with Gen 4. That was my last gen, and like the only reason I came back was on 3DS because that was like, oh, it's a 3D. No, it's not. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no.
And I gave back a Sword and Shield. It's like, oh, it's a proper 3. No, shit. No, it's not.
No.
But now, by the time they actually did it with Arceus, I don't give a shit. I have not played Arceus. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm so desensitized. I'm just like, I've waited all this time for this, and you gave me Hey You Pikachu.
Yeah, I think another thing too is that like I think it's just too late on like when they finally did make it like a full console version, because but yeah, like you said, like I also gave up on Pokemon 2 around like the DS with 4th gen of Pokemon, and like by that time like I was already done with Pokemon. So if they ever didn't like make one like on like the Wii, let's just say, like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have cared as much.
I had one on the Wii. It was called Poke Park.
A Battle Revolution though was the other one.
Oh my god, Battle Revolution.
Poke
You know,
Park
I
2.
played competitively in that game. I used to play and use the Wii Wi-Fi for free. So
Yeah.
you know.
Free internet.
No, back to the TV thing though. Let me get this point out. It was I think the reason that people were so intensive on getting the console Pokemon experience was because you could technically do it in Pokemon Stadium. If you had the transfer pack and you put your Game Boy Color cartridge in, you could play Pokemon Red on the TV, or Blue, or Yellow, or Gold, or Silver. And so, like, you got a taste of that. And so, like, the fact that they never, like, truly followed up on that, like, yeah, I could see why, it's like, it does feel like missteps. I don't know.
It's more bizarre, too, because I'm looking at the graphics and they're not bad. Like, obviously, they're N64 not great, but they're not horrible, and they built all of the assets for a 3D Pokemon game. Like, you built the Pokemon Stadium. That's the combat.
Stadium.
You have this game which has a 3D world. Okay, we're there. Like, what am I missing? Like, where does this not come into play? Where we're having a Pokemon game here? No, we have Hey You Pikachu. Talk to Pikachu. I don't give a fuck what he says. He's like a stupid rodent. What I got a conversation with him? He just says Pikachu all the time.
Yeah, like I used to love Stadium, and I still do. I don't ask me Stadium 1 or 2 are good games. I would say probably say like they were like mid-range games. Like I don't think they have too much to offer, but I think they were just awesome at the time because they were just fun ways to battle 3D Pokemon, and that was new and
Yeah.
exciting.
To be honest, I mostly played Pokemon Stadium for the freaking mini game mode.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
the
Yep.
mini games are legit. No,
Yeah, like
one-
that. Like I put more time into that than I did on the actual like fighting.
But that's the
True,
thing
I
is
will
that
forever be the king of Rat-a-tat race.
Yeah.
hey, Chancy Eggs, man, I got you. Or the what's the sushi buffet one? I like that. Lick a tongue.
Lick a tongue, yeah.
Lick a tongue.
That one's classic. Or the fucking Scyther chop. See, the thing is with Pokemon Stadium, there's just like you could enjoy any of those aspects. You could enjoy the mini games. You could enjoy playing the Game Boy Color cartridge on your TV. You could enjoy doing the stadium battles, seeing your team from your game played in 3D. That was like a huge leap. You could transfer your actual team from your Game Boy Color game to the TV, and that was huge. What did Hey You Pikachu do? Just stupid.
Joe, jump over the fence.
Jump.
Up.
Jump. Like I have to
I literally-
say every little letter.
I literally only want him to respond to like 4 words, and it would be Thundershock, Thunderbolt, Thunder, or I guess Quick Attack. Like those are the only words I want him to do anything with.
It's an idea. Like even if you just had like a Pokemon game, if they wanted to use a stupid mic peripheral, sure. But it had like a Pokemon game where you just give the commands, like way less stuff to program.
I don't
only
even,
have set moves.
I don't know if I love the idea of like voice activated games. Do you guys like any?
I don't think I ever played that many. I think I like
Mario Party.
This is weird. I think the Kinect lets you do that with Mass Effect 3. I used it a couple times and I was like, neat. Oh, then I finished Mass Effect 3 and I wiped all memory of that game from my brain.
A great ending.
But like I think there's like something interesting with it.
I played Nintendogs on the DS in high school, and I was kind of into it. Like I didn't love it, but I was a little old for that anyway. But a friend of mine trained my dog to only respond to bitch, so I gave up.
Ooh, I lied.
Yeah.
Actually, I played Tom Clancy's End War on 360. That used like the headset microphone to do it. But that one was interesting because it was like it was a tactical war game, and you're just the commanding officer. But like when you would say something, you'd be like, you'd be like, armory. But the thing would pop down. This bar would pop down with phrases you could say. You'd be like, tanks. So you could kind of like do it that way, and it's an option. Like I thought that game worked, but because it was showing me on screen like what I could say.
Yeah. I know I played like Mario Party like 6 and 7. They had like microphone mini games. I remember some of those. But I'm trying to think of like
play
another. Oh yeah, Odama, there you go. You just reminded me. Yes. Yeah, I played that too. That game's actually pretty fun, I will say. It's weird, but it's cool.
What Odama sounds like.
Obama.
Idaho. Oh, sorry, we weren't going to family.
Omaha,
Omaha,
But-
yeah.
Nebraska.
But yeah, I
Expensive.
can't really think of other like microphone games at
I mean,
the
aside
moment
from
though.
like karaoke, I mean, like Joy Sound is a really good app
Perfectly.
on the Switch. You get it for free on the Japanese version. You can actually hook up a USB mic to your Switch and use it. But that's different.
Oh,
But go ahead.
actually, speaking of Japan only, I've never played this obviously, but I knew about it. Is that there is a Japan only Xbox game called Nude, like Nude, but it's like has like the dots in between it, so it's not actually like a nude game. But basically, it's another voice activated game that was, like I said, only in Japan, where you have to like talk to like this like robot girl who kind of looks like something like a mixture between like Ghost in the Shell meets like Battle Angel. It's kind of weird, but of course when I found out about that, I was like, this is basically like Xbox's Hey You Pikachu. I had to bring that up just because, it's another weird thing that I remembered about. And, who the fuck's talking about nude on the Xbox? Literally no one.
You are. It's you, Bio.
Yeah.
You guys are forgetting about Karaoke Revolution Glee.
Yeah. We're going back through the archive.
Oh, yeah. My favorite karaoke game.
Okay, if you could
Glee
replace
version.
Pikachu with another Pokemon that you would want to talk to, what would it be?
Mewtwo, because he could actually like telepathically speak, right? According to the cartoon.
Yep.
Do it with a Pokemon I wouldn't want to talk to.
Sure.
Think on that for a second.
I mean, if we're going English, Meowth speaks English, but I don't want to talk to Meowth.
I mean, you could become the next Team Rocket if you could.
But there-
It was like only that Meowth, right?
That's true. What is the origin story of Meowth's English capabilities?
I'm on it.
Okay.
I know they explained that in the show, I think. I think they did, but I
did.
forget the
Me
details.
too. I don't remember.
I'm playing Shining Pearl right now, and I'm pretty sure I would never want to talk to a Bidoof because I see them everywhere. Like even when I use moves, I have Pokemon equipped to use. It's like a wild Bidoof came and cut the tree, and I'm like, get out of here!
All right.
Well, before you go, I just want to say mine. I think I'd talk to Lapras. I feel like Lapras has an interesting story going on. Probably doesn't speak a lot on it.
All right. One day, Meowth came across a female Meowth named Meowsy.
That's right,
Obviously.
yep.
She rejected him, saying that he was poor and that she preferred humans.
Classism.
I have a chance.
So Meowth attempted to make himself more human-like to make her love him. Thus, he painstakingly taught himself to speak human language and walk upright like a human. So through sheer will.
Oh yeah,
That's
if I
how-
remember right, I don't remember if it's that episode, but wasn't there like a scene where he was like watching people and then they were like seashell by the seashore or something? I vaguely remember that.
That's how I learned all my English, was through tongue twisters.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that, Teddy.
Twy, twat, to, tout, tat. It's a tongue twister. Wait, so didn't he get dumped anyway?
She was a hoe. Good for him.
Wait, no, but he
Thanks.
learned English and to walk on 2 feet for her. Then what?
When he approached her after this transformation, she once again rejected him, calling him a freak.
Damn, he got played. So you know what? This is like classic, like gray area stuff, or just being lied to. And so Meowth got lied to, and then he followed the lie, and then she just left him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's tragic.
That's when he became evil.
It's true. That's
Yeah,
what
heartbroken.
inspired him.
Meowth remembered the first human word he understood, rocket, and was inspired to join Team Rocket.
Yeah. And he hopped on his rocket ship and joined and flew all the way to Team Rocket.
Yeah, Meowth. That's right.
And that's my origin story. That's right.
Said through God, all things are possible. And then he just stood up and
Yeah. Write that down.
write that down.
Chris, what Pokemon are you gonna say hey to,
Not say hey to, which
or not?
Okay. I was actually thinking about this, but I probably would talk to like Metagross or Metacross or whatever the fuck you pronounce it as. But I always thought he was a really dope Pokemon. He's basically like, he's a giant metal hamburger with legs. Okay,
delicious.
like
It's respectable. It's like, yo, I'm a hamburger, but you can't eat this because I'm made of steel.
yeah. But also, I always liked using him in Gen 3, and he's basically became a favorite since then. I mean, if it wasn't for that, my favorite would have been like either like Cypher or something.
Mm.
When would you not want to talk to?
Probably Mr. Mime.
That's a good one. No, yeah, I feel like that's just uncomfortable. Plus, he wouldn't talk back.
It's just mime.
Yeah, you're like Mr.
Terrible
Mime.
partner.
Does he speak? I mean, obviously, as a mime, you're not supposed to, but does he say like Mr. Mime ever?
Well, yeah, I know he would say mine. Like he'd be like mine, 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 mine. Like I remember in the movie, like
Okay.
he was helping out with Ash's mom, which I know some people make like really bad jokes with that because they're sick fucks.
Ooh, dude, 49. Don't go
Wish
there.
I wish Pokemon still made the Game Boy gargle sounds. That's what I wish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like when you reach like a hey, look, it's an Oddish. What the fuck was that?
It's amazing that they decided to include that. That's just wonderful that somebody was like, these Pokemon need to speak. Okay. And they're like, oh shit, we don't have very much sound capability. Let's go.
We're playing this off a Game Boy.
But
It's like
yellow
we're using a
version
calculator.
disproves that with Pikachu because they go Pika Pika.
There you go.
So you
They could have
can
done
make
so much more.
syllables, yeah.
Yeah, I remember one of them, like, the literal sound effect was like, "Dur, dur, dur." I forget which one, though, but
Who's
I
that
want to say it was in
Pokemon?
Gen 2.
we should play that with like
Just
sound
by their
effects.
Game Boy
Oh,
sound
by the
effects.
Game Boy
Yeah.
sounds.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a great idea. I'm trying to think which Pokemon it is.
It's Jinx. Da-da-da. Okay, there you have it. 4 trash games, real suckers, belong in the shitter.
This episode sucked.
Let us know why.
We're gonna do that on Discord again,
What?
where we go. This one's gonna suck.
Good. It's a funny joke.
It always
This is the
works.
shittiest episode of the Button Mappers ever.
Get ready for
And I'm a part of it.
suck.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris, for helping us suck.
Yes,
Your
you're
present.
you're very welcome.
Presence, your energy was welcome as well. Thanks.
Spencer for sucking
Always.
me.
Let us know your favorite sucker in the comments below.
Teddy, did you finish your sucker?
Yeah. Hey,
Did
it's
you find the
taken
middle?
all.
Got Tootsie Pop or
Yeah, it was both. I did it
gum-
while the
gumball?
figure skating was going on. Do you know who's winning?
me?
I didn't
The Ice
see you up
Queen.
there. The
See all
dancing
these beautiful
queen,
ladies.
ice skating, Alex of Turbozone.
Why is it ABBA?
The only thing that I really remember about figure skating was that one of the people from my country did a routine to a Led Zeppelin song, and I was just like, okay, that's fucking
Song.
cool.
Mm.
It was Cashmere.
Hmm.
Oh wow. Okay.
I know it's like one of their more like well-known songs, but still, like I welcome that.
So what would be your ice skating songs? What song would you want to go out to? WWE style.
Just
The
to be
Burning
cheesy,
Rangers rap.
Burning Rangers. There you go.
We are burning rangers, yeah.
Rangers go, go. Like each goes a hop.
I was yeah.
Burning Rangers. Wow.
I think for mine, I'll just be cheesy about it and say "Cold as Ice" from Foreigner.
Ooh, I love-
Yeah, you're as cold as ice. Da, 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 no, no. I forget the whole words, but you know, it's a
Yeah.
well-known song from them.
It's thematic. I like it. Spencer?
Well, I always thought the best entrance music would be that from Motley Crue, "Kickstart My Heart." I always thought that
there
would
you
just
go.
be fucking
Yep.
badass to come out
I
to
got
that.
your song. I got your song, Spencer. Ready?
Oh, okay, Alex has it. Never mind. Go ahead.
That
That's
was
Motley
a joke
Crue,
you
right?
made. That was one of the first jokes you made on the Butt Mappers.
Yeah,
You didn't know the music, so you did the Underground Mario.
yeah. Denim.
That's how Motley Crue goes? Really?
Yeah.
They go up on stage.
People are like, yeah!
What would you come out?
Motley, we love you and your crew. That's not the band.
I love your crew.
Make a band called Motley's Crew.
Yeah.
Motley's crew.
Motley's crew. I'm Motley, and this is my crew.
This is my crew.
Hey guys, Motley here. I'm here with my crew.
Teddy, what would you come out to?
I mean, just from recent memory, I gotta go Creed. Can you take me higher?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
real.
my god.
On a scale of 1 to David Hasselhoff, when you sang that Creed song, how drunk were you?
No, I was drinking my first drink.
Dude,
Oh,
when you
wow.
sent me so the video was so compressed. Teddy sent us a video of him singing. With the video on my phone was so compressed, it sounded like you were singing, but in a bathtub full of acid. I was like, "What?"
Did you?
I can barely tell what song it was.
Did you guys see a guy come to the door in the video?
No.
Okay, well, as I was singing that song, a guy comes to the door, opens it up, realizes he's at the wrong room, and is sitting there watching me sing Creed and enjoying me sing it. It's just like, yeah. He walks away.
Oh my
Okay.
God. That's amazing.
Well, low key, that song is really fucking good. I know people like to clown on it. It's fucking amazing. Picked a banger.
Thank you.
I'd be with them.
As I come out for the skating ring, I'll start like hunched over and I'll go slightly higher.
If we're doing butt rock, I'm doing click click boom, saliva.
Oh, hell yeah.
Click boom.
Boom.
The hypest ice skating session ever.
Yeah.
You know, I've been practicing my This Is How You Remind Me. So that was the first song I did when we went to karaoke, and I nailed it.
Nice.
It's the start of the show.
He's trying to master butt rock.
Yeah. I'm working on my homework. In the Long Lost Turtles episode, I was called out for not knowing Creed songs, I think. So I'm trying to...
Worthwhile call out.
Yeah. So I'm trying to work on that. It's like one of my personal goals.
Turtles episode.
This is the Turtles episode.
Turtles episode's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
It's
No
lost
proof it
media.
happened. Lost media. Yeah, there'll be a lost media page on Reddit. Like,
Yeah.
Behind the Turtles episode of the Button Masters.
You know, there actually is some interesting shit on the Lost Media Wikia page. So, I don't know, maybe we could make a little like joke thing on there.
Find us there someday. Love
Monday.
it. Monday. Button Mapper Monday. Indeed. Don't play this shit. These bad games. Because it's literally shit for the shitters.
Okay, bye. Is this bye?
Is this bye?
Is this bye?
Is this goodbye?
Pick one of us to kiss. Quick.
What's that?
Pick one of us three to kiss.
I'm gonna go.
Cheek.
I'm gonna go with Chris.
Aw.
Thank you.
Wow.
Uncomfortable ending of the show.
All right, bye.
It's a friendly kiss, okay? Girls do it all the time.
It's a friendly kiss on the
It's
lips.
a bro kiss, dude. Bro, what's wrong with you? It's a bro kiss. You got nothing wrong.
Hey, we're bros. Okay?
Friendly wet kiss on the lips using just a little bit of tongue. It's not even that much.
kiss.
My guy. Why did this never come back?
Yeah.
Okay, this can really be goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay, I stopped recording.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.